Hello and welcome to another sensational episode of Leeann Keister, the Real Talk Show, and I am your stunning host, Leeann Keister. In today's show, I and my guests will be talking about certain things that I've considered to be a taboo in houses and societies. My guest tonight is an advocate, facilitator, and sexpert. She has masters in public health with over a decade experience in the field of sexual reproductive health, focusing particularly on educating individuals about their sexual and reproductive rights as well as the responsibilities that comes with those rights. She has worked in various capacities at national and international based nonprofit organizations and has collaborated on sexual reproductive health projects with the government of Sierra Leone, leading the HIV prevention program in Harlem, New York. And now she serves as the country director for the Mama-Pikin Foundation, which is based in Sierra Leone. Stay with me and I'll be back right after this break.
Who knows what might happen tomorrow, next week, or even next year? But we do know that with Stacco Insurance, whatever the future brings, we'll be there when you need us most, with outstanding customer service and prompt payment of your claim. Fire, motor, general accident, marine, life and medical. For now and for tomorrow. Stacco Insurance, a passion for high standards.
Welcome back. This is Leeann Keister, the Real Talk Show. Now, ladies and gentlemen, join me as we welcome Leeann Mahota Rizk.
Yay!
Yeah.
That's me.
Hey, Leeann. How are you, girl? What's good?
I'm good, girl. Thank God for
I see
life.
we're kind of matching.
I know, coordinating, yes.
It's all a coincidence, actually. But how have you been, though? How's everything?
I mean, tell God thank you. Not so we can say. We all they manage now, yeah. This is a free talk.
I did tell you. First of all, they manage.
But we're looking good managing.
And that's what we have to do. We just have to keep it going.
Exactly,
anyway.
exactly.
Of course, Leeann. I like what I can pronounce it. Mahota Rizk. I will make sure say, because the Leeann Mahota Rizk. Of course, I don't talk about her earlier. I mean, she's, a sexpert. Today, we're really going to be talking about sex.
Yeah.
In a way. Because, like I mentioned earlier, it's a taboo.
Yes.
And especially Sierra Leone,
yes.
Africans, we shy away from things that we do every day.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And things like that. So we're going to dive into it. And you're the sexpert.
Yes.
So, take us through what is, actually sexual reproductive health.
Well, before I do that, I just want to say that I am the only certified sexual health educator in Sierra Leone. That's me. Okay, so when you want the experts, it's here, and that's why they're sexperts. Sex educator, expert, married together, making sexpert. So I just want to be clear. The only. Okay. Yes, that's me. That's your girl. Okay. So, yeah, but I think ultimately what you said is really what it is. It is very taboo, and not just in Sierra Leone, in Africa, in most communities where diverse people live, brown, black, and any other people in between, people just don't like to talk about it, but everyone is doing it. You see? Right. And this we free tongue, yeah. Hey, everyone is doing it. Okay, so
we know.
Yes, but no one wants to talk about it. No one wants to address it. No one wants to talk about the consequences, the risks, and also the good things that comes with it, the pleasure, the confidence, the things that can derive that are actually a plus, a benefit to you. Okay. Engaging in it properly and with full knowledge and understanding and consent. Okay. Yes. So I think really when we talk about reproductive and sexual rights, we're really talking about your rights as a human. It's a human right to be able to decide when and where you want to have a baby, how you want to have a baby, how many babies you want to have, and also how many people you want to sleep with, how many people you don't want to sleep with, whether you want to use a condom or not. It goes into so many layers. All of those things should be things that are decided by you, but with your full knowledge and consent. Okay. If you don't have the basic education about your body, about its functions, about how it works, is this supposed to be feeling good? The first time I have sex, am I supposed to bleed? Is it supposed to hurt? All the misconceptions, all the myths out there, the things that we need to really work hard to debunk. Okay. Whether it's from school-age children, high school children, secondary school children, adults. even with granny there. Like, seriously, we all can benefit from this information because this is a lifelong journey being sexual.
True.
We are all sexual
growing up in
beings.
Sierra Leone, of course, we were taking classes. I remember we had FLE, Family Life Education, and then they later changed it, but it stopped.
Yeah, it did stop.
I think they kind of felt like we're not supposed to, but, and so these are some of the things. So what are the misconceptions of these rights? Like, I mean, we're hypocrites, we know that. But because like we said earlier, like people don't want to talk about it, but they're doing it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
So I think more than anything, we know that we constantly are talking about in Sierra Leone, especially in a public health, standpoint. We're always talking about maternal mortality and how women left born and all of the really bad things, teenage pregnancy and STIs and things like that. But really, what is the root cause of those things? It's the lack of education.
Okay.
The lack of education. The fact that you
So
don't
basically
know,
you're saying, I asked again because I wanted to just make it clear. So you say it's a lack of education.
it's a lack of education, whether formal or informal. It's not there. It's not there. It's not being spoken of. But again, people are doing it undercover. People don't say that they do it. Everything is like, we see it, but we don't see it, And I think that is really detrimental to the future of this country. How will we thrive if we cannot just talk about the things that are important, that are affecting all of us? People dying from having children. That is something so avoidable. But do you know that you have the right to join family planning, to know that if you weren't ready, you have a place to go? Do you know that? Do you even know that there's a person you can talk to? Maybe you felt like you never could talk to anybody because nobody knows talk.
Right, that's
about
the thing.
So this is why we have to start to break the cycle. We have to start to introduce it. And I'm thankful that now I heard that the government is trying to reinstitute the family life education.
Okay.
And they're trying to bring it back and make it more comprehensive, which is what I've always fought for, comprehensive sexual education, which basically means that we're talking about it in a non-judgmental way, but medically accurate way, making sure that we keep our biases out. Right? Because that's the problem. The problem is in Sierra Leone and many other cultures, we'll talk about sex, but with our bias in there, So if you touch man, you belly go hot, this, that, like all of those things, that's bias, and that's not the fact. Let's keep facts the roots of everything. Let's just, stick on the facts. The fact is that when I touch a boy, I don't get pregnant. That's the truth. You don't go touch person and get
pregnant. Yeah.
But that is some of the things we say. Imagine.
That's what they did. They say,
Yeah,
if I touch,
Yeah. So
Right.
if you think say that touch, sometimes kiss better. You be like, oh well, I don't get for touch, I'm going to go kiss me and not a better thing. And then it can lead to other things because I'm ignorant into knowing what is the real way I can get pregnant. Just say it. Just be like, this is how people get pregnant. This is really what happens biologically, naturally, and scientifically, that's how it happens. And that empowers the person to now know that if I'm not ready, I'm not going to allow you to do A, B, and C, which gets me pregnant. Okay. And just so everyone knows, FYI to all the viewers out there, yes, I'll be saying things like sex. I'll be saying things like clitoris, penis, vagina. Hello.
All right. Talk about those things that you're going to be saying. What are some of the important things about sex?
Yes. I think there's so many important things about sex. And also the fact is that it's not always about sex in terms of the act, the behavior of sex. Because when people hear even sexpert, they think that I'm really just teaching people how for lay down with man or get man or mommy and daddy business. And really it's much more than that. It's about gender. It's about consent. It's about, STIs and infections. It's about pregnancy, preventing pregnancy. It's about sanitation and hygiene. That's a huge one here. How to really take care of yourself. A lot of people do not talk about these things. And of course, it's about pleasure, which is my favorite part. And I even brought a few little props.
Okay.
I hope you don't mind, viewers and Leeann.
No, we're just hold it right there. Don't move. It's about to get hot. She has props. I'll be right back after this.
So let's watch the Real Talk with Leeann TV show by our very own daughter of Sierra Leone, Leeann Keister.
it's about to get hot. Today, we are talking about sex. I mean, it is a taboo in Sierra Leone, and I think with the person I have here, of course, she's a sexpert. Meaning, you know, she was saying she knows sex, and then she has a master's in public health, and all this extra stuff. That's why she's here. I'm not the expert. She is. You know, she put it together, you know, and just called it Sexpert, right?
Yes.
Welcome again, Leeann Mahota Rizk. Of course, Sierra Leone, the only, if you missed it earlier, she emphasized on that. She's the only sexpert in Sierra Leone. And she's here because she wants to bring that knowledge from the States to here. Because like we said earlier, in Sierra Leone, for me personally, I do think we're just hypocrites. We don't want to talk about sex, but we want to do it every day.
Hello.
And then I like the fact that you mentioned that if you are going to teach your kids about sex, don't be biased about it. Don't tell your child, oh, if you touch me, you go get belly. We know to the fact.
Exactly.
You know, because then you go feel, say, if I touch, I'll get belly, but if I kiss, it's okay. When you clearly know, you know. So basically what she's saying is we have to be real.
Yes.
And education is very, very important. She was going to show her prompts, and then I kind of stopped her right there. But however, I mean, we're grown adults, and this is more on the education side of your part. It's not about us just sitting here trying to talk about sex or teach those kids about sex. No, it's very important. Like I said, I had that subject growing up. You know, I was taught in school. So some of us have that knowledge, but you clearly said the government, well, we're hoping, they're trying to bring it back, right?
They are.
So basically they see that it's necessary. So it's not just us here. We're just going ahead of them because we see what's happening in Sierra Leone.
Yeah.
And we're going to really dive into that.
Yeah.
But you were just about to show your props. Why do you walk around with your props anyways?
Because, you know, I'm a sex educator. I have to. Any opportunity I have to shed light on this, I will shed light on it. And I want to have people feel more comfortable talking about it.
Okay.
And I want to make sure that people get it. Like, you know, so sometimes people need a visual, you know, and that's what it is.
No, it's true.
And it don't mean say that me go show me self, but I get what I go show, you know. So I have these, I have this puppet. It's called a vulva puppet.
Okay.
And this is a puppet where it's basically made to show the anatomy of the female anatomy. And I think, say, one of the biggest mysteries in the world is the female anatomy. Like, even man them we claim, say, they're not the pro, you know, the highest, even them cannot articulate all of the parts of the female anatomy. Okay. And the saddest thing about it is, I refer to a man, but you will get some. You will get some. You don't know nothing. In fact, you know, one day see you.
Imagine.
Not to imagine, it is real.
Okay.
But woman and they will not ever actually sit down and say, I need for watch myself. Just like how you they watch you face.
Okay.
You they watch you body. All thing. This is part of you.
Right.
And for you to live 30, 40, 50 plus years and say, you know, one day say you take glass, you go inside, lock yourself and watch yourself fine. Let you know outside all thing day. You know, it's sad. It's sad to me. So I walk around with the vulva puppet just because I want to encourage people. Okay. That's really what it is. And so this is the vulva puppet. I call her Lala. She's Lala.
Hi, Lala.
Hi, Lala. And it really is just to show you the anatomy. So like this is the clitoral hood. This is starting from the top. Okay. And then right under the clitoral hood is the clitoris. Right? And of course, they look different for everybody. And we know, say, Salona culture and society way, Bondo is still practiced, female circumcision is still practiced. And I'm not shying away from that at all because I know people I know and love, we don't go through Bondo. You know, so I'm not speaking or bashing them at all. I want to include them in this conversation.
Yeah, including me. That would have been me because I actually go Bondo. I mean, not too many people. What do you expect?
Exactly.
I mean, now I know better. I probably would have said, but one thing I tell people, I don't miss anything anyways, but go ahead. So I'm representing us.
Exactly.
Don't worry, I'm representing us.
Ellen knows Sabi the secret. Anyway, but the point is that with or without, whether you gone or you did not go, the point is the clitoris still exists. You know why? Because the clitoris is much more than what meets the eye. Waiting they not do, waiting how they born we, how waiting they not do, like how waiting they are so. And it's sometimes they not go big, so it go small, or sometimes it stick out more than this. It just depends on you, but it depends. The point is that there's a big, larger organ inside under where they know they see. So even during the practice of cutting, they cannot take all of it. And that is the source of pleasure for women. Period. Now so God make we. Now they all the nerves them. And if you sabi what's in our nerves are the things in our body that help us feel and have sensation. Nerves then they now your fingertips them. Now you make way they feel something, you able feel like fine one. And that side they back, now then the nerves then can gather. So now you make the pleasure king day. Most of it. You understand? So even people who have gone through Bondo have a clitoris, and I'm going to show you one other thing to back that up. So this is just how someone who is just like how they born, we know more how they usually come, and it has the lips here. There's two sets of lips. There's an inner and outer lips, and these are all protective layers, and they can also aid in pleasure. You know, if person sabi how for rub on the correct way, all thing they go. All thing they go. You understand? And so even when you go inside, this little part here that's like a little rose, that's the urethra. Now they wet from. Now they the piece. And the thing about it is that people don't know that there's separate holes for women. We do not pee where we menstruate. You understand? Those are two different places. Unlike man them, outside then they wet. There's them back now they the water, the other water they come out. But we not they shape the whole. We get separate side. And so it's so important for know that and but woman they don't know. Like even what I can tell them, they say, if I talk about like tampon or something like a tampon, like people will be like, oh, but if you put on there, it not go block the wet. I don't that girl. Like Lord. You don't know how many grown women,
don't even know. But that's why this is important. I mean, all jokes aside, but this is really important because, like you're clearly saying, we don't really know a lot. Of course, I'm fortunate to have learned, living over there. But like, say we will go Bondo per se. They would say, they enjoy sex. I not sweet, and I'm looking at them like, are you serious? Because I know my body. Yes. But most of these people out there, they really don't. So the only key say that they regret some already for say, hey, they don't cut me, so I know they enjoy because exactly they don't. So I'm happy you're here. Yeah. And you're breaking it down to them, and especially when we talk about the nerves, the urethra and all. Is that like so when they said
So yes, and just so we can finish, but like, and then the largest hole here, of course, right here in the middle is the vagina. The vagina has 3 jobs only, and those 3 jobs is to give birth, it's for menstruation, now outside you menses they come out, right? And of course for penetration or sex. Those are the only 3 things. And did I mention pleasure? I did not mention pleasure because it's really not where the pleasure is. Where the pleasure is the clitoris. That is the holding place of the nerves in that area. So even though some of the clitoris, they see, now they hold the vagina. So sometimes they feel the pleasure inside, now because of the clitoris. And now I want to show you, say, this is actually what the clitoris looks like. This is the full clitoris. Look at your face. Okay. Wait, and what does this remind you of? Go ahead. So it actually looks a lot like a penis, really, because there's a part here that sticks out. So this is the part that is the part that goes here. This is the part that actually is the part on the outside. And sometimes it's not this big. It can be a little shorter. It can be a little, bigger or whatever. It just depends on the woman. But there is the part that sticks out. And this is the part that is usually removed during Bondo. And the rest of this, then to and the way you see so, nobody able to touch her because it did bien. All this cover. All this cover. So why they talk say you didn't enjoy, even when you go Bondo, you didn't enjoy because all this left. And all the nerve then still did it. And this year where you see all what's in the middle yard na the vagina. So in all the vagina, so any sensation where they feel inside now because of the clitoris.
So you're not gonna have to do the vagina itself.
No.
People feel say,
no.
But people do. Well,
the vagina.
We'll talk about orgasm later. Let's still go ahead.
The vagina, yeah, we can talk about orgasm.
Right.
But the vagina.
I'm just going to jump into it to be like, okay, there's this argument about some people, get orgasm during penetration, some don't. And I think that's a whole different.
And that's what I'm saying. So my thing is the vagina now road. I mean, really and truly, that's its job. Okay. It's a road that is elastic, that's strong, that makes us the women that we are. Because really, that road day, nothing able to match that road day. The kind way where you're able to stretch, you're able to come back. It's just amazing. It's amazing. And we should never, and I can talk to women the way they can refer to that, to dong day. Say, oh, that, They can talk, and it just makes me so sad because the kind of power where we get. In our small, we not for the take care, we not for the talk, say it was safe.
Right.
Because it was to who?
Right, exactly.
Yeah, it was to who? Now that maker. You don't know you they cost. You they cost the person will make you, the maker. Why would you say it's ugly? The man on fine.
Not at all.
Exactly.
Well, you think maybe now that make you, but it's talk say people are not actually able to watch themselves. So I think that because that they don't mind already for say I don't get that so they never get time. And I agree with you. A lot of people haven't really. They've never really done that. So you they encourage people to for really do that.
Usually that's my first homework assignment. As I go inside any workshop, especially if now woman and normal, I say the first one I want to you take class. I want to you go. I mean that's the assignment. Go now oath. Lock yourself inside if now wash yard or you bathroom or your bedroom. If you're fortunate enough to have your own room, lock that door, open your legs and take a glass, a mirror where you able hold on your hand and put hand on there and watch and see if you able fend the parts that way me they identify. You able see inside your vagina there, inside the piece they come out, inside you anus there. You able identify and see for yourself how it look, how it turn, how you on there. Yes, I want you to be able to see for yourself.
Right.
Yeah. Just like if you go to a dentist, you go say, oh, now this tooth art, how you going to point to the teeth? You don't watch them, you don't go inside. But yanda, you just go left hand. So that's the reason why we have such a high number of infections because people don't even want to face it. They go get scratch and all kinds of things. But before they even watch and safe, they go just sit on pana. Or they go to treat themselves with their alpha pepper doctor business. And it say the thing don't worse and it can lead to all kinds of things, including infertility. So those are the things that we have to stop. We need to break the cycle. And that's part of the reason why I'm so passionate about what I do. Okay. Yeah.
All right. And I think that's really, really great. So now we're going to talk about fantasy. Of course, man, woman. Men, their fantasies, are they different from women? Or
they can be. I think that there's a lot of similarities. We are more similar than we are different. Let me just say that. Men and women, we are more similar than we are different. I think society has really pushed us to believe that we're so different. Man, they're so different from woman, and that's so, these are man talk, these are woman talk, and all of that is BS to me. Because I think that a lot of times we are the centerpiece of humans in general. We all want to feel loved. We all want to feel taken care of. Okay. And I think one of the key things where we didn't miss na salonia, so na something where we didn't call intimacy. Intimacy is everything outside of physically having sex, but the things that way they connect me emotionally to you. Like even when we know they get sex, we they talk, you they text me, we they do all the half thing, and then you buy something for me where you remember like my favorite sweets or whatever. Those things now get me in the mood to meet you sexually because I'm connected. And it also helps make the time where we they meet, in more intense. It make them more powerful. Because I already don't, in my mind, I already don't create all these things where they show me over time. Say me now you pausing. You don't understand. So why I meet you now, all that excitement they already don't build inside me. Now me self they make them for myself. And that is the key thing to having a great sex life. It's really having intimacy. It's not about how big the man Dave, the man Sabi, the body of the woman, the that. It's the connection.
It's connection. Okay. So when you talk about connection, I think that's where maybe cheating comes in. Because a lot of women, when you speak to them, they don't have that with their partners. It can be husband or boyfriend for a long term. And then they always get attracted to somebody else who's giving that attention. So that was going to be a question. But now that you mentioned that, basic, in other words, that's why it happens. Because you just clearly explained it. You feel connected already. And these people, a lot of times when you ask them, why did you do that? They tell you something is missing.
Exactly.
They're looking for this attention. So you they agree. You ain't that you study.
Yes, I agree. That especially when you're in a long-term relationship, a lot of times things come in the way. You're busy, you get picking them, you get other things where you need to take care of, and you start to forget and stop putting in that effort that you put in before. Because, you just take people in for granted. And we all are guilty. We all are guilty of that.
Right,
when you see posting every day, you don't use some, you don't even
care.
Okay. I don't need to do all that. But when you see posting new now, you they put all this extra effort. And what the hell is the effort for me? You know, like, where did that go? It went into that other person. So really, if you think about it, it's possible for like you get them back, but you really have to put in that
effort.
Yeah, and so that's really what it is. It's a two-way effort that has to happen. It has to constantly, and then I work. Now work for maintain that effort today, because Baku tell you they get sidetracked, they get distracted, and because life is like that, and so it is very difficult to maintain. But not something way possible. People, they can do them all the time. You can rekindle them all the time. People do that all the time.
All you need for do, una or two for putting effort. Don't go
Yes.
anywhere. I'll be back after this.
So let's watch The Real Talk with Leeann TV show by our very own daughter of Sierra Leone, Leeann Keister.
Welcome back to Leeann Keister, The Real Talk show. Oh my God, this show is one of the hottest. Why did you miss it? Watch the YouTube channel. Land boy, you said, especially you, woman, if you watch me right now. Me said the land as I go. Basically, what I have here, her name is Leeann Mahota Rizk, sex educator, sexpert. You know, she's an expert, of course, in sexual reproductive health and things like that. She studied it, so now she's here in Sierra Leone. And it is time to encourage, you know, man, woman, even picking them. Say, basically, what we talk about, everything that happen, not so is lack of education. We feel, because I feel like the thing about sex should be taught in school like it did before. So we really did pray, say, yes, the government, they bring and come back. And at the same time, it is a taboo. People don't want to talk about it, but the truth of the matter is we have to talk about it, because a lot of people don't even know what's going on. When they talk about female circumcision, Bondo, you know, so definitely you get this myth in a way for say you will go Bondo, you know they enjoy sex, because clearly you don't know your body. What they say earlier, you know, me just it's for just to make you understand if you just walk in, is, you know, the vagina is one part, then you get the urethra, so where the pee comes, and then you have the clit. You know, in other words, the conch. You know, so it's three different holes that we have. You know, and you saw the pleasure, like you say, it's around the clit and everything else. So then cut said and no cut also, like you say.
Exactly.
Me now, one possibly, you know, it happened to, but I do enjoy it because I know my body.
Absolutely.
But then me fortunate because, you know, I finished high school day. I learned a lot from over there. So I get for learn me body. But it gets a lot of people, like when we clear, they say they don't know this thing. So this is good. That's why, I mean, this is real, so we get real. I mean, you know, so I want her wanted her to come here and really teach people. As we wait for make you go back in our course, our school, and then all the things that really happen. You know, of course, you don't show you props, you don't show the different things, which is really good. Fantasies, they talk about, you know, basic about being intimate. You know, like you say, intimate not to the physical. Not to a pastor say, oh, me and we're intimate or whatever. It's not the physical. It's like say maybe just the attention. It's emotional, because like you say, if somebody they check up on you every day, they talk to you fine, and you get connected. So when the sexual part comes, of course, you want that person.
Of course.
So a lot of times, I think that's what, you know, the relationships, the lack of, you know, commitment. Because we don't deal with somebody for too long. Like you said, we all guilty of that for things. It's the same thing every day. But she's saying no. If you put in the effort, you know, you can bring back that spark.
You can, absolutely, you can. And I want to encourage people to understand more about intimacy. I think that is a big part where they miss. Naya. And also there's, you know, there's another point of like sensuality. Sensuality is also part of this intimacy concept, because sensuality, why I say sensual, that name means say you actually involve all 5 of your senses. And we all know what now we 5 senses, not so sight, taste, touch, what is it, hearing, and I'm missing one. Is it smell? And so those things also help to heighten and increase our sexual life, you know, because when you involve all your senses, you know, so if the place smells sweet to you get, you know, you kind inside, you know, you best place I say is cooking, you smell them, you're like, oh, that smells good. These are all sources of pleasure. Let's be clear. Pleasure without sex. So think about what makes you happy throughout your day. All of those things that make you happy have to do with your 5 senses. So you bring that same thoughts in the bedroom. All the 5 senses should be awakened, should be stimulated. I need to feel everything. Imagine if all the five senses now, they intact, and you they do them thing and they, all thing you they feel, nothing any miss. You know they miss a thing. So I think also making sure people put in that effort, and all of that takes effort.
Right.
You therefore put in work for creating environments where you can actually feel all your five senses alive and in that moment. And I really encourage, that's the reason why I love talking from a pleasure perspective, because I want people to understand pleasure doesn't just have to do with orgasms, although orgasms are great, and we can talk about orgasms.
Oh no, we are going to talk about orgasms.
You know.
We are going to get it.
But yeah, I'm just saying that it's more than that. Everyday pleasures too.
Okay.
Food is a source of pleasure for a lot of people. It's a source of pleasure for me.
Yeah.
You know, certain touches that are not sexual, like massages, like hugs, things like that. Hugs from your children, hugs from the people that you love, your parents, whoever. Those are all sources of pleasure. People you talk to, certain things that you hear, you might, maybe words of affirmation.
Words of, things like that. So it kind of gets you,
exactly.
So definitely once you take it to the bedroom with your five senses.
Exactly.
You have to put it in there, and which is a lot of effort. So we have conversations, we always have conversations with different women.
Yeah.
And then especially when it comes to sex, it's about age, hormones, and things like that. Some people tell you, when I was XYZ age, my sex drive was, when I'm just like,
Yeah.
So does age really and hormones, does it really affect one's sex drive? Like,
I mean, not more, I would say more so hormones than age. But hormones definitely are the key to sexual drive. And women have hormones, men have hormones. And what's really funny is that the hormone balances change throughout your life. And so for men, usually the peak of their sexual libido or sexual drive is usually when they are young, like the early late 20s. That time is like when they really have a very high libido. Like they can go all night, they can go to different women, they go, right? And then we woman them, it doesn't kick in right away. It takes time, because women, obviously we have a lot more things at play, when we are getting aroused. We are really invested in the emotional piece, and we also have to feel like we are special. Like, you have to make it feel special for us to really get there. So I think with women, our sexual drive, our peak happens like in our midlife. So like late 30s, 40s, into 50s. Now that 10-day woman, they really wake up. Like, and that's the truth. And sometimes when that happens, there are times where, women will have issues with becoming more wet or lubricated, and they'll have dryness and things like that, because naturally when you hit menopause, you don't have as much wetness as you did when you were actually menstruating.
Okay.
So one of the things that are very important for women as they age is to have lubrication. And lubrication is not for woman and no more when a granny, and I'm not even just putting that out there. Lubrication is for me, for everyone. It makes it so much easier, especially if you're into wild sex, kinky sex, anything that has to do with the butt. You need to, if now waist you leg, and you know what I mean. If you leg you waist,
lubrication.
Lubrication is your friend. Always make sure you get that for making slide, for making just go
just
easy one. And because we don't want to make nobody feel pain, that's not what we're about, right? We want pleasure, not pain.
And not so possibly older, because it's say, the more, when you get older, the dryness and everything, like you say, it's for everyone.
It's for everyone.
So I know if you say, I don't pass this age that I make and think, no, it's none of that. It's for everyone, for making slide, because it's not supposed to be painful.
No.
So you can just lubricate.
Yes.
And lubrication, of course. And now they have different ones, flavors.
Yes.
So
we have flavors, you have different textures, you have the ones that are hot, cold, tingly, all types of things. The ones with CBD, that's my favorite. The ones with CBD and all kinds of things. And and I'll tell you about my event coming up too, so that people can learn more about these things.
Yeah. So, orgasm.
Yes.
Yeah, that's another major thing.
Yeah.
You have women that haven't really had any form of orgasm at all.
Yeah.
They don't know what it is. You have some women who don't during penetration, but they can
Yeah.
during, the touching,
yeah.
other
foreplays
and things like that.
Yeah.
So are there different types of orgasm?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Let's
start with that. Let's start with the different types.
So there's over 10 different types of orgasms.
Okay.
There are several different types of orgasms. And I think and research is still finding out more and more. One thing I want us to know is that women are blessed because we have the ability to have multiple orgasms.
Okay.
Right? Which means we can have more than one place supplying us orgasms at the same time, or we can have orgasms back to back. So we can have one right now, it can go, and then it comes back. And then it goes, and it comes back. Unlike men, who usually, when they have orgasms and they ejaculate, they need the time to get back up again. So they get a rest time, and then they get back up again. And sometimes then they can take long. Some men they can take longer than others. Some men then quicker, and it just depends. But so women have that ability. So that's number one. So secondly, in terms of the amount of orgasms, you have like nipple orgasms. So a lot of people who have been through Bondo, a lot of them have reported that some of the main ways that they do find stimulations is through their nipples, their breast. Mm-hmm. So a lot of breast plays can help that too. And also the misconception that orgasm is this big thing, like it's so big, like I miss them. I not be feeling, I didn't have this big explosion in my body. It's not always gonna be this huge thing. Sometimes it comes in little waves, like it's just like, ooh. Like right? Yeah, well, especially for woman then. Mm-hmm. And so, so it can be from the breast, it can be from the clitoris, like I said, it can be from the G-spot. The G-spot is a area that's also internal, the internal clitoris, which is actually you going into the vagina, and right here where this clitoris is hugging is where you're touching, up here. And that is the G-spot. Not everyone can find it. You get for really be on your game for find that thing. That G-spot, they don't talk about command able find let them not lie to you. Okay? I dey try to tell you, you get for really sabi woman body first for let you know that one day first. Mm-hmm. And so the G-spot is one. There's the U-spot. There's the P-spot. Frenulum. There's so many different. And a lot of these are on men too. The P-spot is a part on the man that's like equivalent to the woman's G-spot, but it's on the man. And it actually is a orgasm that is crazy on men. And for Fenam back now woke. That day, now pass you go through the man anus for Fenam. Yes, I said it. And men have been known to, if they are aroused in that way, they ejaculate immediately. Like it just almost happens immediately. Yeah, so that one day is like a whole nother level. So this is why sex is something that you needs to take time to explore, to be explored, especially if you're with someone for a long time. Mm-hmm. You know your long time partner, you get time for explore those things. You don't get for rush and find out all the different things
everything
that
right
all
away.
At once.
It takes time.
Yes,
okay.
Over time you'll explore each other's body. You know what makes this person tick. Sometimes in bobby with the clitoris, with this, with that. So tend not to just where you put you thing inside or penetration no more. And sometimes it's just like licking, sucking, touching, rubbing, those things too. Inviting, temperature play, which is a form of kink, which is like ice or, playing with hot and cold temperatures. Ice, or you can ice cube them, or you can use like candle wax for,
Okay, this is the kinky part of all of those things.
So these are all things that can be explored. What I'm saying is, yes. So all of these things can help. And it's just important for us to understand. And this is also sensual too, when I was talking about the five senses.
The 5 senses.
Introducing those kind of things to help you. It just helps with the whole process.
So what you're saying is, for somebody who probably thought they haven't really experienced it, because maybe in their heads they're thinking, like you said, it's a one big explosion.
Exactly.
So you're basically saying they must have, but because it comes maybe in different ways,
yes,
they haven't really picked it up yet.
Yes.
So every woman at least have had that experience without them knowing it?
I believe that most women have had some forms of orgasms. Okay. But there are more, and it can get more intense. It just depends. If you're able to find the right thing or the right person, and when I say thing, I mean toy. It could be a toy too. It doesn't have to be a person. Mm-hmm. But what I'm saying is to make you be able to connect all of those things. Because imagine now if you connected 1, 2, 3, 4 types of orgasms together, and those all happen together. That would be a huge one. Now, you wouldn't be feeling a little woo. It would be like, oh, you know what I'm saying? And so those things can happen too. And many people have never felt that woo, that one.
I think that's the one to look for that. That's the one that's what they want to experience.
The one where you buddy they go out of control. Like, you know, so it's and it's great. It's wonderful. I want everyone to feel that. You deserve it. You deserve it.
You deserve it.
Everyone deserves it.
You should be able to feel that. Just learn about your body, and then your partner needs to really just learn what makes you tick.
Exactly.
Don't go anywhere, because I'll be back after this.
Who knows what might happen tomorrow, next week, or even next year? But we do know that with Stacko Insurance, whatever the future brings, we'll be there when you need us most, with outstanding customer service and prompt payment of your claim. Fire, motor, general accident, marine, life and medical. For now and for tomorrow. Stacko Insurance, a passion for high standards.
Welcome back to Leeann Keister, the Real Talk Show. Of course, this is the realest show in Sierra Leone. Check my YouTube channel. If you missed this episode, it airs every Friday, 10 o'clock on AYV. And like I said, go follow me on YouTube, subscribe, and then you can watch it over and over. Like this episode, if you just missed it, is really important. It's not even about the females, it's about the male as well. We're talking about sex. Yes, I know it's a taboo. Yes, people don't want to talk about it. But the reality of it, we have to talk about it to teach our kids, because we see what's happening every day in the country. You know, of course, before we get into that topic, you know, let me introduce my guest again. Her name is Leeann Mahota Rizk. I just like saying that Mahota. You know, she's a sex educator from New York, and actually the country director for Mama-Pikin Foundation. You know, she's based in Sierra Leone, and she will say it. Before she says it, I'll say she the only sexpert. She calls it sexpert because it's a combination of sex educator, and then what else?
An expert, and of course a public health background, all of that together, married together, sexperts. Just easy for people to remember.
She enjoys talking and teaching women. You know, I just want to do a recap of what we talked about earlier. You know, if it's a woman name, I think one thing where you mentioned as well, most of the women, they're not ever really actually sit up, able to take the glass and look at themselves. You know, nobody.
Yes.
Because in their age, it's ugly.
It's ugly.
You know, like you were saying, you know, I mean, the makeup, they make weed, they say ugly. No, it's not.
Exactly.
You know, you get a lot of pleasure from that. You have kids from that. Like everything we get for do to woman.
Absolutely.
You know, it's down there. I want to go to waiting that happen every day in that salon. You know, recently we had this issue, not so recently, it's been going on, where there's young girls.
Yeah.
You know, 25 and under. They just doing the most, you know. And I think saying that make maybe us parents they feel like if they don't talk to the kids about sex, they're not go know or learn about sex. But when they see, say, you know, social media, they have their phones out, they can learn anyhow, you know, anyway and things like that. And most of them people, then they get story of how they got into those lives. You know, it's so bad in Sierra Leone. I think it was Asma here that we were talking about something where even in man themselves, where they yan the baby themselves, they ask for multiple girls. So everything but sex don't become a whole thing where it's really hard to meet a virgin at a certain age.
Yeah, yeah.
Before we really get into why this is happening, what do you feel say they happen? You know, especially with these young girls. In other words, I'd say everybody's having sex in Sierra Leone.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, like I said, we're not being hypocritical about it. We're actually here to kind of help the ones that are, you know, that are coming up and make you understand, say, like you say, and not as bad, you know, if they tell the truth, facts. Don't say if you touch it to get belly, you know, explain, say if you do it this way, that way, now the belly go calm.
Exactly.
And of course, even if you know, if you use condom, because not to just belly go prevent you from sick.
Yeah.
Even if you don't have belly, you can say, now that kind of education that we want for parents they teach them, picking them, or even schools, hopefully government, please. We really want to bring them back. Because I went through it at, you know, going to school, primary school and secondary school. Before when I actually pull them. So I learned inside salon. And of course I was fortunate to just learn even more about my body. So now, like I say, most of the Pekin, they're not virgins. They run to sex. You know, some are poverty, because we have a lot of prostitutes around. Some are they just want to enjoy it. Some are just peer pressure. You know, what do you feel, say, really not the issue for make 14, 15, 16? Besides, I'm not going to say the one way they apply with something, they put inside child marriage and all those, we're not in parents, the individuals that are really making these decisions. What is the problem?
Well, this to me is not specific to Sierra Leone. This
Okay.
is a worldwide phenomenon. And because of the fact that we not address them,
Okay.
this is, again, going back to education. There's a lack of understanding in education. And there's a fear, a general fear amongst young people about where to get the real information. So they do go into different platforms, and I can say that are probably not great and credible platforms, like social media, like the internet, like their peers and the guys on the corner and Uda Eva Nights Club them and all of them things, and they forget the education that they desire, because it is natural to be curious.
Okay.
Especially in a teenager. Like, it's natural. Once you don't hit 10, 12, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, it is natural for both boys and girls to be curious about this thing called sex. I don't get about this thing. He always they talk about this thing. Me mama, they push me at door. Where I watch the film, they begin to do this. All man, they tell me, say, let me come on at door. I mean, like, so all of these things build the curiosity, and sometimes it pushes them in that direction, especially when there is nothing to counter that and say, this is the truth, this is the facts, this is really this is all the hype. It's not even all the hype, you know? And so I think really what it comes down to is the fact that, to be honest, when there is comprehensive sexual education, like I said, medically accurate and non-biased education, non-judgmental education, kids actually refrain from sex longer. It's a fact. That is actually a study that has been done.
Wow.
Yes. So kids who actually get the formal education, they actually refrain from sex longer because they have the knowledge to know that I'm not ready for that.
Okay.
Because I know all the things that can come from that. They've already explained that to me. And I know exactly how to get this, how to get that, how to get that. And when I'm ready, I'll do it.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Versus, I don't know.
So the curiosity.
Yeah, I didn't go there. And so the curiosity combined with the poverty, combined with, pressure, combined with all of those other things is a deadly combination, as we see every day in Sierra Leone. That is really the underlying truth. All these schools then they complain. Every secondary school where you go, and sometimes primary school themselves, they all get story there. If you talk to the principal, the head people, then they tell you all the things that when they catch them picking and they do. Whoa. Even if it's an all-girls school or all-boys school, then they do it. You know why? Because the curiosity is still there. It doesn't go anywhere because it's a normal part of growing up. But the point is, we should be doing our part to combat that and make sure we're doing the most to make sure that they have the information so they're not making these crazy decisions.
Basically, teach your kids about sex and just so many other things that we need to know.
Yeah.
We're not going yet because we still have one more break. But anyways, I'll be right back after this.
So let's watch the Real Talk with Leeann TV show by our very own daughter of Sierra Leone, Leeann Keister.
Back from the break, of course, I have Leeann Mahota Rizk in the building. Actually, Leeann, you have an event coming up.
Yes.
Because now I really want for it to come to a whole level.
Yes.
We're not to just sit down and go to the shows and talk about it, but now you're inviting people to come.
Yes.
So tell me what's going to happen at this event. When is this event? What's in it come with?
Okay. So we are hosting an event, and by me, I say me and my partner, and she and I have come together because we really want to have a place where pleasure could be centered around conversations about sex. So we called it Sexplanations. That's what it's called, Sexplanation.
Okay.
So explain about sex. And so it is coming up on October 8th.
Tomorrow, basically.
Which is tomorrow,
okay.
which is tomorrow, yes. And it will be happening from 12 to 4. So it's a day type of event, but it is very confidential. It's a confidential space because we want to make sure that it's safe for people to come and freely ask questions, talk about it, get into the mood. I'm going to do some demonstrations. Not also this one day, real demonstration. They do real demonstration. Yes. And we'll also have other things like sex toys available. That's also something that is a huge demand here in Sierra Leone. A lot of women and men are curious about sex toys, how to use them, what to use them for. The women that we don't go through Bondo, then self want for partake in sex toys, and they want to know how it will work for them, because there's certain toys that are just for clitoris stimulation and some that are for penetrative. Because when we think about sex toys, we only think about dildo. We're not just the man part. And that is So 1993. Okay.
1993.
That's 1993. Dildos, they still exist, but the way they not advanced them and they is so far beyond. So we did talk about them and they we go get some day for sample and for people then for see how how to use them, how to clean them, maintain them. We'll also have solutions there to help you to maintain and care for them. I mean, it's going to be a very, very good discussion.
So
and
I really
12
encourage
to 4. 12 to 4.
Any fee involved, it's free.
It is free. This is the first, so we're kind of just launching it. So we want people to just come out. And you have to RSVP. There is a number that you can text on WhatsApp with your name to say that you want to come, so that we can have your name.
You give out the number where?
And
where we're having it.
Well, the location will be dropped tomorrow. And it's really because we want to make sure we maintain confidentiality, because we want people to feel safe, right? But it's in Freetown, it's in Western area, it's very easy place to go to. And we'll drop that. As long as you've RSVP, you will get that
What's that number though, if somebody's watching right now wants to be a part of it?
I mean, the number is 074-110-533. Yes, and so you can just text that WhatsApp, and then just with your name, and just say that you want to RSVP for the event, and you can come, and we'll let you know the event location.
So this toy is going to be available for sale?
So there'll be toys available for sale. There's even a very popular request for this little toy here. I have one here just for sample. It's the rose. Everybody's talking about this rose, but this is it. This is the rose here. And this is, I want us to be clear that this is a clitoral stimulation toy. So it's an actual suction toy. Like, it actually acts like it's sucking the clitoris. So it and not just the clitoris, it can suck nipples and things like that too, but the motion is that it sucks it. So this is a toy that's very popular in America and abroad. A lot of people are buying it like crazy. So we will have some of these and samples of these, and a chance for you to order these things so that we can get it for you. But yeah, we'll have a lot of different things there, and we'll try to cater to everyone. But this is a ladies only event, just so you know.
Ladies only.
And if men are interested on having their own, you got to let me know. I have to have the men interested first. But I don't have a problem. I definitely can entertain the idea of having an event specifically for men or for couples. This is really open for anybody, because everyone benefits from a sex education, like I said in the beginning, from young people them all the way up to we granny them. We all the benefits, because we're all sexual beings. And so I just want to put that out there. And yeah, I'm available to be booked for, workshops, educational workshops, schools. I've gone to schools. I've gone to, professional settings. I can do all of those things. Just let me know, hit me up.
How can you be rich? What is your social media handles, your numbers?
So my social media handle is Sister Girl Sexpert. Sister Girl, so that's SISTAGURL, Sister Girl Sexpert. On different platforms. So that's Facebook, and for IG, and for TikTok, all three of those. That's my name on those. And also, I can be reached via email, leannrisk@gmail.com. And, I'll definitely send it out with, with videos and stuff like that. And I'll
after tomorrow, is it going to be a once a month event, depending on how many people book you?
Yeah.
Or, how often do you want to do these things?
I mean, I want to do it as often as there's a demand. So I think really what we're trying to gauge the demand. So after this event, we'll know what the interest is, how many people still want to, continue having these conversations, and then we'll book it, So yeah, I would love to have it on a more regular basis. Yeah, so yeah.
And you're available.
Yes,
so don't forget, Sister Girl, at all the Sister Girl Sexpert. The sister is TASISTA, girl GURL. Sexpert, you can always just go there, reach out to her. For the for the men, I gotta get on myself. You actually able to do one-on-one. This is a women only event, and of course couples, like you said, she's available.
Yes.
So now we're almost at the end of the show. I want you to be able to talk to the parents, to the kids coming up.
Yeah.
The ones that are going through what they're going through, the ones that are curious, the ones that are already there. Don't know what to do next. But most important, I think, the parents.
Yeah.
What would you say to them, the advice, where you go give, to them?
So what I go say, because me say na kumbra, and I go talk on Pan Creole, because I really want to make una understand. Say, this talk here, so for talk but mommy and daddy business, is so critical to the success of you young person, you pikin. And the reason why I say that now, because on 10 and day, you not get the ability for talk because you not get the knowledge, and that's fine. You will not get try your best for try for find the resources them for help you picking. Let him get access to them. Let him not go na the same cycle where you go through where you not been getting information. So I really want to encourage people then the same way they work hard for let we picking and not get for suffer like how we suffer. And so back we get for work hard for make sure say they get it correct information for let them thrive. I want let them able for make them decisions then let them know say this thing it fits me right now and not fits me right now, and let them able make their own decision because trust me, we begin is smart enough for make them once they get the knowledge. But when we not give them the knowledge, we they disturb them, we they actually hurt them more.
Right.
And I want them to understand that they will not come brother and we for help we begin and not to hurt we they hurt them. And even though we they feel say now protect we they protect them for talk they half talk their way we they talk say hey if you lay down with man so if I team up with man nothing other happen. Nothing thing and they you have to be intentional. You get for be factual. You get for stick on the facts them. If you want for do you're not the first teacher. You're not the first teacher. Even if you begin old 4 year, it just begin talk. Where you they call in parts them, call them properly. Penis, vagina, vulva, anus, all them thing and they talk them properly because the day where you get for late complaints say somebody touch them, let you know what for tell you. And before they encourage them for let it tell you that they so if they start very young, you want to make this something where you know say you not get for ambogam and that's just normal thing. You they normalize them. That's what we can call a normalize them. And that's what's going to create the difference. I want let we left for the toxic salon a place where of the worst and highest teenage pregnancy. Salon the worst place for be mama, for be girl picking, for do this, for do that. And all of those things will start to come down if you see say we they focus on this sex education. I know that that's the key. I know that that's the key. I truly believe that.
You truly believe that?
Yes.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you for coming here. It's been fun.
Yes.
I learned 1 or 2 things. We don't know it all. So the sexperts, I've told you some things. Man, nine gets one. We get different side. Oh, then say
we're blessed. We're blessed.
We're blessed. I appreciate you. I wish you all the best at everything that you're doing. Of course, if you miss her information, it's Sister Girl, all social media, Sister Girl Sexpert for Bookam. You go come for talk even to the school. She's available.
Yeah.
To get events tomorrow. You have to text the number for you to get the location because it won't really be confidential. So tomorrow is the first official sex party. In other words,
Sexplanation.
Sexplanation.
Yes.
Yeah, we get to learn a thing or two about toys. Toys not necessarily mean dildo.
Yes.
I'm excited because we're all the learners with the girl, but I mean, just good luck. I'm here to support. You can reach out to me to get to her if you do miss all the information. And that's it. Wrong with it. We need it. Yeah. I'm not going to sit here and be a hypocrite. I'm using that word because that's how we are.
Yeah.
I'm not. They go say, oh, maybe because this is Americano. No. Because salon. Then be they do not stop and stop. So not to see where it knew.
Yes.
So they knew the importance then. I don't remember why it stopped. I don't know the reason. But now of course they're trying to bring it back. So let's just run with it. Let's just encourage our kids. Talk to our kids. Have them, let them be comfortable talking to you about everything. Let you be the first one with them to go to. Like
exactly.
Say, now you're not the first teacher.
Yes.
You see me, I love
yes.
it. You're not the first
very
teacher.
Very good, and the other thing, the one thing that we didn't actually mention is about religion. I just want to make sure that because a lot of people try to combat this conversation with religion, but I want you to notice one thing what I do. Almost every time when I talk, I say, now God make him.
Yeah.
Now God make him. The ability to understand that and use it for the purpose of which God made it for is incredible.
Right.
We therefore understand, say, reason day.
Right.
Reason day.
Okay.
And we cannot, we can't negate that. The point is that at the end of the day, part of that day is part of the reason why we're here.
Yeah.
How we all come, we begin and come, is through that.
That's it.
And
so
it's better to have a good time while you're doing it.
Exactly. Thank you. Nobody lives my set without getting a really, really nice gift from me to you. All right. Make sure you follow my YouTube channel, subscribe, and of course, keep it locked on AYV at 10. I have been your host today, Leeann Keister. Till next week.